Yes, I guess we are live. Once again, thanks to everybody who is joining me in on the chat room and also those people that are gonna be watching this video on the archive. If this is your first time around here, welcome to the Roberto's Wrestling YouTube channel. And obviously, I hope you are doing well. And today we need to talk about Impact Wrestling. This is the Impact Wrestling review from May 17, 2018. But before we start, I need to put the foundation of this review. So, as you know, I have been mad busy this week. I have a lot of troubles on my personal life, and also I'm working not from the usual place of work. I'm doing military duty for the time being, right? So I put aside a lot of plans, did a lot of extra hours and many different things in order to set up a couple of hours in order to first watch Impact Wrestling and then second review it. By the way, I haven't seen like nobody else's review or anything like that. Sorry, because I don't want my judgment to be clouded by their opinion, and also I want to have like a fresh look at Impact Wrestling since I haven't seen any much TV for a week almost, right? So when I ended up downloading this show via one of those nefarious websites, I felt like a big letdown, and that might be the reason why this review might be a little bit more harsher than usual. So I know there's some people within my audience that just don't want to hear negative stuff about Impact Wrestling, because if you only watch Impact Wrestling, you know there's a lot of dishonest reporting, dishonest review about Impact Wrestling when it is overly negative to the point that it is nitpicking. And once you read those type of reviews of hear it, there are phony people. There are people who just want to throw poison into the well that is enjoying that Impact Wrestling product, that is doing a dump on the national bowl. That is what they want to do, and there are people who are proud of it. I'm not gonna name those people. I'm not gonna say Max Bryan, the guy from the law. No, I'm not calling that guy out. Don't be silly to think that I'm gonna be pointing my finger at that fine gentleman. But let's not attack everybody. Let's start with the show and review it. So the show opened up tag team title match. CNE, DJC, and Andrew Everett defeating Eli Drake and Scott Steiner. Cool match, short match. It served the purpose of giving the torch from Eli Drake and Big Papa Pump to the new tag team on the block, CNE. They look good as a tag team. However, there is a couple of problems here and there. Number one, I found it kind of weird why Eli Drake took the pin when you have Scott Steiner over there, who is older and could be, the one taking the fall. However, it would look a lot worse to seeing someone like Andrew Everett pinning Big Papa Pump, because Andrew Everett, he's a great talent. He's a master of the sky, of the flips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. However, he doesn't have the look of a professional wrestler. He still look very inderific. He looks indie as hell. And when you put him against someone who was well established into the American main event scene like Scott Steiner, you know that there is a mismatch. But if you knew that he was gonna be doing the pin, I guess it was the right decision to see Eli Drake take the big L. Also, they protected Eli Drake because he didn't took like a clean pin. Scott Steiner hit him with a chair before the end of the match. So you know they still have plans for him. By the way, I haven't heard the news if he's staying with Impact Wrestling or not. Hopefully he's staying with Impact Wrestling. He do the wise thing, do the sure thing, because at the end of the day, would you rather be a servant in hell or a king in heaven? Obviously, you're gonna choose the latter. Stay with Impact Wrestling. You are well respected and beloved by the audience. Why are you gonna go over there to find, to waste time on, NXT for 1 or 2 years? Then maybe they will find a good spot for you in the main event. No, you are already a vital part of Impact Wrestling. Don't do that. Next, we got Madison Rayne doing commentary before the next match, and she is like, obviously not that bad at commentary, to be honest. She is decent, and I heard some rumblings that Impact Wrestling wants a female voice because they felt like they were unique by having Christy Hemme doing like ring introduction. Now they have Dave Pernser once again doing some of the shows. I know not every single show is done by him, but he is the master of the announcement sometimes. So they're looking to fitting a female talent on that type of role. It is either gonna be on commentary of the knockouts matches, or it is gonna be as a ring announcement. So we got Tessa Blanchard doing her Impact Wrestling debut, obviously defeating Kiera Hogan. This was a glorified squash match. It's exactly what you were expect out of this. This was, a squash match. This is the problem, I think, with the old school booking, is that they do a lot of squad match and they say, hey, not every match is gonna be star versus star. Yeah, and I do agree with that. However, if you're gonna do a squash match, you better do it right. It better be impressive, because at the end of the day, if it's gonna be some milquetoast type of deal, why are you wasting your time? Do it right or don't do it at all. Easy, too easy. This was a milquetoast type of squash match, and Tessa to get under my nerve by doing the Chris Jericho thing. I don't know if you're all enough to remember Chris Jericho back in WCW, when he used to do a move and then yell, "Come on, baby, come on!" She was doing that stuff, and I was like, "Oh God!" She got the heritage. He got a good look. Why do you need to pander so much? So basically saying in the ring, please pay attention to me. If you don't have them by your look and the last name that you have, then there must be something wrong. And I know it is difficult to get over on the impact zone, because sometimes people are just playing with the cell phone. Do to the way they used to record the show, because they do a lot of stuff between the show. It is not like your typical show that you see. Then they go from point A to point B. At least the last time I was there and I talked to people who go there, excuse me, they tell me that it is a lot of stop and go type of deal. Obviously, that's gonna kill the crowd. Also, this was, I think, the second to last day of recording, so they have been watching a lot of wrestling for 2-3 days straight. They already are not gonna be impressed with a meal toast type of squash match. After the match, obviously Tessa Blanchard, you knew that she was gonna win. After the match, she decided to attack Kiera Hogan, but Madison Rayne made the save. This is where the cynic in me comes in, because I want Tessa Blanchard to get over. I want her to get over. However, Madison Rayne have a bad reputation of being a likable babyface. She was hated when she was a heel and hated even more when she was a babyface. If you know the history of the company, if you are not a coming lately type of guy, you know that she is not a well likable person, especially with the way she talks and the way she handles herself on the microphone, and her tone of voice when she starts speaking for a long amount of time when she is in character. Second of all, why a Impact Wrestling fan should care about this feud? We haven't seen Madison Rayne in at least 9 months, something like that, probably a little bit more, almost a year. And you are gonna tell me that now I need to care about her in the ring against this young, rookie with heritage, Tessa Blanchard? No, it doesn't work like that. I don't know why they decided to do this. I guess it is easier to book her than to find someone from the indies, and I guess this role was for someone, I guess, like Gail Kim or someone like Velvet Sky or Angelina Love. There are that they were the cornerstone of the old Knockouts division, but I don't think Madison Rayne is the one that should be on this spot. And she's not, a bad talent or anything like that. And I just don't want to be overly negative about Impact Wrestling, and I'm trying hard, but I will not sell out my way of viewing things. And if you're a subscriber of my channel and you are a loyal viewer, you know that what you're hearing from me is what I think. I don't hold anything back, and I wanna like this angle. I want those people to be successful, to get over. But I think this is just not a good first beginning feud for Tessa. For me to care, I don't care about Madison Rayne. Who gives a flying fuck about her? Let's be real. Then you are gonna transfer that heat into Tessa. No, I don't care about this feud. I just want this shit to get over next, and find somebody new. Find someone who is worthy of this feud to the only female talent that you got outside of that are like the main event type of deal. I it is it is a no-win situation. There's no winning on this angle. I'm sorry. I know I'm going here on a little bit of a rant, but that is how I feel about this. I just don't care. I just don't care, and I'm seeing something that in other universe might get over, but this is shit. It's not gonna get over. Next, let's talk about Grado. And he was backstage confronting Jimmy Jacobs and Congo Kong and accusing them of being the people beating all the other wrestlers down backstage and putting the X mark on them. And Jimmy Jacobs obviously denied that claim, saying it was not us. We like to fight people, and the one that we wanted to beat was Abyss. We did it, so we're not fucking with people backstage or anything like that. But Grado didn't like the way they responded to him, and Katarina said, "Hey, I'm gonna put my man is gonna fight your man. It is gonna be Grado versus Congo Kong, basically using Grado as a shield." So that is a match that is gonna be happening right after the break. We got Congo Kong versus Grado. We got Congo Kong obviously beating him real easy. And post match, Moose decided to make the save. This is another problem that I have with this show. Why would you want to do the same angle back to back? This is just lazy writing. You got Tessa Blanchard doing what is the name? I forgot it. Beating Tessa Blanchard in a stomp kind of match, doing a squash match to her, and then you got she overstepping her position, attacking Kiera Hogan, and Madison Rayne making the save. Then a couple of minutes, you got the same shit happening. Congo Kong beating Grado in a squash match, and then Moose make the save. Why would you want to put this back to back? It looks like you just have one trick, a one-trick pony. And I know they did good on the ratings and stuff like that. It's not like my main concern or anything like that. But it is just lazy. There's nothing that could inspire. There's nothing here. Why? You don't have anything different to to a difference between this angle. Why do you have to repeat this post-match scenario? And that is not the second time that this happened on the show. They did it another time. Just lazy stuff, man. Lazy stuff. Next, we got LAX talking about their problems. Talking about that Conan is no longer with them. They're having, a meltdown as a team. And Trevor Lee and Kale Conley show up to poke fun at them. And that basically set up a match that is going to be happening next week. Sorry. The Latin American Exchange. LAX versus Trevor Lee and Kale Conley. Next, we got the first indie match of the show. We got Sami Callihan Eddie Edwards defeating Sami Callihan in a match from House of Hardcore. Good match, about 10 minutes. nothing bad actually during the match. What I do have the match do have a little bit of a problem is after the match, Eddie Edwards went in to attack him post match, and then Tommy Dreamer came in to make the save. The same stuff that I complained during the Congo Kong and Grado. The same stuff that happened during the Tessa Blanchard Kiera Hogan. Don't you have another way to do an angle post match? There's no other way. Why do you have to do the same similar stuff 3 times on the same show? And don't get it twisted, this was not a boring show. The problem is that it is not intellectually stimulating. I finally find the word that I was looking for. This was lazy. This was autopilot. You just drive in there, you put autopilot, and you go smooth, but there's nothing like an adventure, something new. It is the same song, just in different tuning. Not what I want out of Impact Wrestling. And I know in the next 2 weeks they're having a little bit of a show Under Pressure, and that probably is gonna be a lot better. But this was one of those dead water beats show. Next we got Brian Cage versus Facade. I saw the name. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I just saw it like written on like French, something along those lines. So excuse me if I'm mispronouncing this. Obviously, this match also came in from another indie promotion, Destiny Pro. Nothing bad when it comes down to their production quality on this one. You know what I was looking for? I am a cynic. Sometimes I am, a regular guy, and sometimes I am a cynic. And I was scrolling down comments, just looking forward to people to attack Facade over his look, because he's a white guy with dreads. I was looking to see, people accusing him like cultural appropriation and all that, other stuff that it is popular for the time being. But I didn't find much support in that. That was what I was looking, and also he didn't look bad at all. And also, by the way, when I first saw the match, I thought it was this guy, Christian York. But I saw him for the second time, and I was, no, Christian York is like a big dude. By the way, good talent. I don't know why they let him go. It was like, hey, this is a new shining toy. We're gonna use him, and then they get lost in the shuffle, and once you open your eye, he was gone. Next, we got KM doing a makeup with Falaba. Fun stuff, comedy. Also, we need comedy in wrestling. Next, we got what I could say the best segment of this show. What make this show basically worth watching. This was the funeral of Rosemary. This had a good production value. It looked like one of those series that you watch on Netflix or something along those lines. Good stuff. And they even turned the funeral casket into fire. So for the time being, Rosemary is done. She burned to hell or something along those lines. So let's see when she returns, and if she returns with a new look. This is what I'm looking for. Next, we got the main event of the evening. We got Pentagon Jr. and Fantasma defeating Austin Aries and Matt Sydal. Solid main event. It was long as hell. What I did complain about last week, that the show had a sorry that the show had a short main event. This time they fixed that. They gave them like 40 minutes, almost 20 minutes, something along those lines. It was quite long. Good, good. That is how you should treat when you're world champion and the number one contender are there. There was a couple of let's say rough spots between Matt Sydal and Hijo del Fantasma because I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to be surprised if this was the first time they wrestle each other in this setup. So a couple of their moves didn't look that crisp, but it was passable. Nothing that could make like Botchamania or anything like that. And obviously the champion won, and we're gonna have next week for the X Division title, Matt Sydal versus Hijo del Fantasma. We will have LAX versus Call of Lee. We will also see OBE versus Grado and Irish Star. And Congo Kong versus Moose. So that is almost it. Let me do a general thoughts for the time being. Take a little look at the chat room. And we are done. So, general thoughts on this show. Not a bad show. This was not a bad show. A solid like 5.8 out of 10. This was not a F. This was a C minus, almost a D. Why? Because of the repetitiveness. I don't know if I created just a word. But how many times did they repeat the post-match type of deal? I found all of this not intellectually stimulating. And that is something that I'm asking. TNA, keep things fresh. One of the things that I do dislike the most about World Wrestling Entertainment is that they repeat a lot of matches and they beat those horses to death. Now, during this show, it looks like Impact Wrestling was repeating the same angle down and down and down. And I just don't want that. Keep things fresh. This is why I tune in into this show. Also, three things that I think they were well made. The title chain. Obviously, you need Eli Drake near the world title scene. And also there's the rumor, the rumblings that he might leave soon. So you need to take the goal out of him, just because if negotiations went down, you don't have to worry about him having the title and holding the company hostage for more money or more perks. And by the way, I'm not accusing Eli Drake of trying to do that, but there might be some history of wrestlers doing that, and I just don't want that look of Impact Wrestling losing someone who have the belt around their waist. Also, they did that title change, the tag team title change, really good. Also, another thing that they did good, the casket thing and the whole Rosemary funeral, that was excellent, very appealing to the eye, something that is gonna age well in time. Those are the little details that you need to be on the lookout. And the third thing that I like is that you gave a lot of time to the main event. That is the way it should be done. Respect the people with the goal. respect the audience. If you have the guys with the goal to challengers and stuff like that, you know, put emphasis and do the respectful thing. Gave them a little bit of time. So let's take a look a little bit of the chat room for the time being. Slide. So we got on this one. Sorry that I'm not reading from this. I got it. I got Cool Mine 95 too. He's one of the loyal guys around here. You see him. A shout out to him. He's one of those guys that you always see him on the comment section. And thanks to guys like this is why I do this sort of things. I'm gonna be waking up like in 4 hours and I'm talking about Impact Wrestling. Thanks to guys like him, you brother, you guys, all the content producer, that inch, that motivation in order to do this. And I do it for each and every one of you that are my loyal subscribers that want to hear me talk about Impact Wrestling and also be part of this reviewing show by being part of the chat room. So he said, hey, that he thought that the show was decent. Yeah, a lot of people thought that it was decent. Probably if I was on the grid, probably my judgment would be a little bit different. But since I didn't watch any type of television or anything like that, and this was the only show that I watched after a hard week where I got my mom like in a hospital and all sorts of wacky stuff happening in my life. Of course, my judgment could be a little bit more harsher, and that is probably what I said at the beginning of this review, because I'm always gonna be fair to Impact Wrestling, but people do have bias, and it is like lenses. You try to clean your lenses, but if you have something happen on the back of your mind, that is always gonna influence a little bit on your reviews and your perception of reality. The other comment that I have is Eli Drake better sign. Impact Wrestling better sign Eli Drake, and I do agree 110%. Just don't let this guy go. This guy got the size, and that is one thing Impact Wrestling is lacking. They don't have enough people that are over 6 feet tall and 220 that are legit heavyweights. They have only a select few, like 5 or 6 people. So just don't let this guy leave. He got the size, he got the look, he got the physique, and he's really good on the mic, and he have improved a lot on the ring. If you watch this episode of Impact Wrestling, they did like C&E, the ACN, Andrew Everett did a spot with Eli Drake, which consisted of first a long blower to I guess a cold red type of Canadian destroyer flip with Eli Drake. You are doing that with a guy who is like 6 feet and 235, which that is a dangerous spot which with any wrestler. But once you have a bigger guy, the chances of things going south, it multiplies. So obviously that was very impressive by everybody who was involved in the match. Also last week, Pentagon did the Pentagon Driver on Eli Drake. Eli Drake is way bigger than Pentagon Jr. So in order to take that move, it requires a lot of precision. So that is some of the observations you got to do with Eli Drake. He have improved in the ring. He's doing the right stuff there. And then I got a question in the chat room. The last one, and I guess this is the roundup until Wednesday. And he asked, should OBE be involved with the Sammy and Eddie Edwards rivalry? Should OBE be part of the Sammy and Eddie rivalry? It would be good. You know what I think? If they would add OBE, they need to add, obviously, 2 more wrestlers on Eddie Edwards' side. That could be something good for if they want to do like a lethal lockdown, something Impact Wrestling haven't done in quite a while. If you want to revive that old match, this is one of the rivalry that could benefit greatly from this type of match. If they would do it 3 versus 3. But the feud is going right for the moment. They still haven't run out of possibilities. So I don't know how long they want to do the feud. That is the, how can I put it? If I would know how long do they want the feud to be, then I could say, hey, maybe some things could be different. If they want to do a one-off match, like something like a Lethal Lockdown, I'd be all for it. But the Sami Callihan versus Eddie Edwards feud is more on a personal level. And I understand why you say, hey, why they shouldn't. It's because of that. It is a personal thing. And a fight with a feud that is personal, it probably involves 2 people only. When you are more people, you water it down. But at the same time, if you want to do matches and you want to keep the feud fresh, then you could do a 3-3 or something along those lines. But they already did like that match with Moose and Tommy Dreamer and Eddie Edwards versus OBE and Sami Callihan for the pay-per-view. So unless you're gonna do something fresh or something like what I was suggesting, a Lethal Lockdown, then I don't see the reason why. But all of this is under the title. I don't know how long are they gonna be doing this feud. So in closing, did I enjoy this show? Yeah, I did enjoy it. My problems is that I didn't find it intellectually stimulating. I want Impact Wrestling not to repeat the same angles. Give us something new every single week. 2 hours of television. Something fresh, something easy to watch and easy to follow. It's not a big deal. And if you wanna, add more stuff, then it is gonna, things might get watered down. But with the current stuff that they're doing, 2 hours a week, keep it fresh, keep it easy. The whole KISS idea, keep it simple, stupid, just that type of booking, and don't repeat stuff. It is not that hard. This one was not a L, don't get it twisted. It was a low C, but still I do expect a little bit more out of Impact Wrestling, and I know that they can deliver a better show than this. Hopefully next week it is a better show. I'm gonna see you, each and every one of you, this Wednesday. I'm gonna return here back home for a couple of hours. So I'm gonna be doing a live stream just like this one. We're gonna be talking about the polls that I do each and every day on my Twitter page. And if you don't know what is my Twitter angle, You should read where it is over here. Wrestling Robert. Add me there and see the polls that I'm running all week long. I do a news roundup, and we're gonna be talking a couple of things. And I have an idea on my mind. That was the poll that I did today, and I want to discuss that with each and every one of you who are Impact Wrestling fans, and maybe we could see eye to eye on this one, because I have a fairly simple idea, and I think could be very successful on Impact Wrestling. That's it for me. Thanks to everybody who is watching this live stream, especially all of you who watch it all the way till the end. Thank you a lot for your support, and I will see you this Wednesday. Goodbye and